everyone, it's Bob and Fran, and as most of you know, we're in our 80s, we're feeling better than ever, and we're all about healthy aging. Today we thought it would be fun and interesting to answer some questions that we've received from our viewers. These are real questions, and we hope to give some real answers. We're going to do the best we can, and we've made a list. So I think we're ready to jump right in, and I bet I can tell you what our first question is.
Absolutely.
What is it?
The question is, I know you eat plant-based, but where do you get your protein?
That's the most often question we ever get. So, Fran, do you want to give us a quick answer to that?
Yeah, let me just explain. There's really only one source for really good protein, and that's from plants. Now, if you eat animal products, yes, they have protein, but the animals that you're eating got their protein from plants.
So that's secondhand protein.
Secondhand protein. We get it directly from the source.
Okay.
Okay. The next question we got was, where did you learn Qigong? Qigong is an ancient Chinese form of exercise that we do every day. So where did we learn it, Bob?
Well, I know where we learned it. We actually were in China. We were in South China. We were in a small town walking through a park early in the morning, and we saw a bunch of little old ladies. They must have been
maybe in their 60s.
Yeah, real old. Maybe
this is a long time ago,
yeah.
Back in the early 90s.
They were standing in a circle. They all looked so bright and beautiful and smiling, and they were doing some motions with their hands and their bodies a little bit. And the leader, I think she was the leader, she waved us in. Do you want to join us? And we did. And that was our first experience with Qigong. And now we've been practicing and teaching Qigong for, years and years, decades. And it's really kept us healthy and well and energized. It works primarily to raise that energy level and to decrease stress levels. So if you haven't tried it, we've got about over 30 Qigong lessons. They're free. They're on our YouTube channel. So check them out. You can even start with a short one. I have as short as 5 minutes. And give it a try and let us know how you do with it.
Good.
Next question is on our list. It is, what is your opinion about eating meat substitutes?
Now, we know there are a lot of meat substitutes on the market now, and we really believe that they are good for the environment and good for the animals. But
It's because we don't kill cows or chickens doing that.
Right, but they're not our favorite way of getting our nutrition because they do contain a lot of additives and oil. Now, we believe that it's best to get your nutrition as close to the source of the food as possible. That's why we like to eat plants, fruit and vegetables mainly. Now, once in a while, we might have a meat substitute, but we certainly don't make a habit of it.
I agree with that. What's the next question?
The next question is, where did you two cuties first meet and then get married?
Two cuties. I love it.
We both went to Indiana University, and we met during orientation week.
First week of college.
And we got married 1 week after we graduated.
That was
back in 1962.
Yeah, we got married in 1962. Most of you were never
You weren't even a gleam in your parents' eye yet.
Yeah, but we've had a fantastic life together. We call it a great ride with a lot of adventures, and that's how we first met. It's been fun.
Now, one thing that we hear quite often in this question, how can I get my husband to eat plant-based like me?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have to admit, I'll start with this answer, and you can chime in. I think that, a lot of men think it's like I'm a man and I want my thick steaks and I want my hamburgers, and that's maybe one part of it. I think women generally are a little more open to new things, and sometimes in my situation, I was a meat eater, and then I got sick, and I knew at that point I had to change my lifestyle, and then I started eating much more healthfully, and I haven't been sick since.
Now, for some men, it helps to watch movies like Game Changers or Forks Over Knives.
Or What the Health was my favorite.
Those will
What the
help
Health,
them to reconsider their eating.
But let me say, in the end, I think you have to be a good example to a family member, including your husband, and just sort of be a role model. But I think to try to convince someone, to try to change someone, is almost an impossibility. Would you agree?
Yes, because you can only change yourself.
Yeah, you can only change yourself. You're not going to be able to change someone. You know, it might be good to even to suggest not only the movies, but maybe eating a meal or two a week for starters that might be a high flavor plant-based meal. Maybe your husband would go along with something like that. But in the end, you can't force them. You just got to let it go sometimes.
Next question we got is, do we drink coffee?
Wait, it's a dual question here, I see.
Oh, yeah.
It's about drinking, period.
Okay.
First is coffee. Do we drink coffee?
Yes, and we do drink decaffeinated
and
coffee.
It's decaffeinated.
And we've always done that. We didn't do that because we improved our diet. We just always drank decaffeinated.
Yeah. The second part of the question was, do we drink alcohol? We do drink red wine at 5 o'clock. It's sort of a nice habit, and we're very moderate about that. A little glass of red wine, about 6 ounces, I guess, and that's our alcohol fix for the day. The next question is, I am a worrier. Any tips to stop my worrying? Well, I can answer that briefly. I've answered it on other videos. Worrying is a matter of not being present. Worrying is about something that may or may not occur in a future time. The way to moderate that, the way to prevent that, is to be present, is to adopt a mindfulness practice that teaches you how to be present. So if you're doing something, your mind won't wander into that worrying state. And the training for this is a meditation practice. So I would give a meditation, and even some Qigong. Qigong is considered a moving meditation, is something that I would think this person should incorporate into his life or her life. I think that would really stop the worrying.
The next question we got is about water. Somebody said that they're concerned about the quality of the water in where they live, and what did we do about it? Well, we too were concerned about the quality of our water. We live in an area where we have city water, and they do have fluoride and other chemicals, and we didn't feel comfortable drinking water with those chemicals. So we bought a tabletop reverse osmosis system. Now I know some people get whole house systems, but we chose a tabletop one.
It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And it works
and we
great.
love it.
It works great. So we use a brand called AquaTrue. You can read all about it by going to our website at www.bobnfran.com, and we have a section there of products that we like called, it's our store, but you can read about it, and we think it's been a very good investment. It's not super expensive. It's not cheap. I think it's around It's under $400.
We've had
But
ours for years. And we even pack it up in a carton and put it in our car when we travel.
Yeah, for some
You know, like
extended
if we go
stays.
for a period of time.
Yeah. So 𝗥𝗡𝗄 drinking water is, we found it to be amazing. It's a really good product. So the next question we got is, what? Apparently this person knows that we've traveled quite a bit, and I don't know how you're going to answer this, but what is your favorite country to which you have traveled? How would you answer that?
Okay, well, I have to say Thailand, only because we've spent 9 winters there and really got to know the people and the lifestyle and the culture, and it's always been very special to us, and the food is incredible.
Yeah, we used to be able to walk to like 30 or 40 very healthy eating places in the city of Chiang Mai, Thailand, where we spent most of our time. I would have to say that, well, I thought our trip to Russia.
Oh, it was actually called the Soviet Union when we were there in 1986.
Boy, can you think back that far? But I mean, I have memories of that trip along with our photos that are just incredible. And we were followed everywhere we went, which was sort of adventurous, and we did a lot of sneaky things. So that was sort of fun. I did want to go back. I just see another question that came up that has to do with our time in Thailand. So just to drop back to Thailand for a minute. We actually, besides eating there, we taught at the Buddhist University for 6 years. Our students were all Buddhist monks from all over Southeast Asia. So these were great bunch of guys, and we learned a lot from them, and they learned a lot from us. It was a great life experience. Another thing we did is we sort of on the downside is that we discovered that Thailand was one of the countries that in which child trafficking was a big problem. Another one of our favorite countries is just north of Thailand. It's called Myanmar, or Burma. It used to be called Burma. We spent a lot of time there. It's another fantastic country, but it's got a lot of child trafficking in Burma as well.
That's because of extreme poverty.
Yeah, so we created a nonprofit organization to help counter the trafficking of young girls, especially into the sex trade, and we still have that organization in place right now. So if you're interested in it, on our website again, and the website is in the description below, it's bobnfran.com. We have a whole page about our experience in the trafficking business. Not a really good business. So the next question on the lighter side is, what is our exercise regimen like? Is the question. So what is it like?
Well, every other day we do some chair exercises, building our core and using weights. We try to hike or walk every morning if the weather permits.
Today we went on an hour and 20-minute hike. It was great. But
Yeah.
you don't have to do that. As long as you get out and walk, even if you walk 20 minutes. But I don't mean walking your dog or something. I mean walking briskly, as best as you can, every day, at least 20 minutes. It really gets your heart going, and I think it's very healthful for you. And don't forget, by the way, we're not medical professionals. We're just answering questions about what we do.
Okay.
So with any change, I think, Fran, in diet or exercise, you need to check with your doctor first. But a good exercise program, you got to do some exercise, some movement every day, along with the chair exercises and the walking. We do some Qigong every day, and we do some stretching, which we do the first thing in the morning, and that really opens up our joints and gets us going for the day. So that's about our exercise program. if you're not doing any exercise, you really should get going on it. And again, the internet there's a wealth of information. We're sending out a newsletter soon that's going to give you some links to these chair exercises that we do. So you can check with that, or you could just send us a note and we'll get you the information.
Right.
So here's a good one. Oh boy, I'm going to let Fran answer this. We can relate because we have 2 daughters. So the question is, my teenage daughter stresses me out. Any advice? You'll get used to it. It's going to last for a while, but it goes away.
That's a hard one.
Yeah. I think that I think patience is an important thing, and I think trying to understand things from your child's point of view is another important thing.
And when all else fails, red wine. The next question we got was, my energy fades as the day goes on. What can I do about this? And one thing that we found that really helps is to get up out of the chair and do some movement. Like Bob said, exercise is important, whether you do a little stretching, a little Qigong, some type of movement, and that wakes up the energy and it'll kind of revitalize you.
You know, we have a couple of videos on very simple things like energy tapping, where you tap all over your body. If you do like only a couple minutes of that, boom, that just wakes you up. And then we do shaking, where we're shaking our body. It looks kind of goofy, but it opens the bones. It's healthy for bones and joints. And again, it just gives you that instant burst of energy. So we prefer that over a nap. We don't really nap. Some people nap. We're not into that.
Well, one thing I found when you take a nap is you feel groggy the rest of the day.
Well, you feel groggy, but maybe not everyone.
Well, I don't know.
I would feel groggy
I've talked to
also.
other people who feel that way. That's why doing a little exercise
Just
gives you the energy and makes you feel really fresh and vitalized.
Here's one about weight. How can I lose pounds and keep them off?
That goes back to one of the things we said earlier. If you can adopt more of a whole food plant-based diet and cut out the oil, you will find that you will lose weight and keep it off. Now, when I'm talking about oil, I'm saying we don't use any oil for salad dressing or for cooking. That alone has made a huge difference in our weight. We lost weight and didn't need to lose weight.
Right. The next question is, here's a good one. Do you cheat on your whole food plant-based diet? Should I cheat? Well, let me tell you, I'll start if I may. When we first started, it was not easy, especially for me. It was not easy to be totally dedicated. I tried to be as best as I can, but it got a little stressful. And we looked at each other and we said, if it's too stressful, let's just sort of break the ice and we'll have a pizza with cheese on it, with real cheese in a real pizza restaurant. But we did that very infrequently, and eventually it just goes away. The craving for meat or dairy products just dissipate because you're feeling great. You can use substitutes for those foods, and it's just not necessary to cheat anymore.
Well, the one thing I wanted to add to that is if you have a serious health issue, I would suggest that you go without cheating so that you can turn your health around. If you're doing this just because you want to improve the planet or you don't want to kill animals and you want to cheat once in a while, it's not as terrible as it is if you really have a serious health problem. So,
well, I'd like to answer the next question.
Go right ahead.
It's a hard one. It says, do you two ever argue? Well, the answer is, we may not agree. I don't think we argue at all.
No.
We may not agree on everything. We don't argue because I always get the last words. And the last words are, yes, dear. So she wins every time.
No need to argue.
Last question of the day. is, I know both of you are in your 80s. How do you feel about this? We feel pretty good about it.
I think it's great. Not everybody has the opportunity to be in their 80s.
Yeah, I feel good every morning because I get up on the right side of the grass. Think about that. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the grass. So we feel great. We feel actually more energized than ever. And so life for us is very good. So that's our questions for today. Maybe we can do this another time if you guys want it. So if you could comment below whether you like this, you got some ideas, you enjoyed this video. We'd like to hear your feedback. We use the phrase, your feedback is our fuel. It makes us feel good and inspires us to make more videos like this one. So please share this video with friends that might want to laugh. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. And we look forward to seeing you again very soon and sharing with you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.